Welcome to Joy's Wild Party. Of plans well laid millenniums ago, this day was deemed deliverance of good cheer. Join with one and all the guests invited. Look, here arriving, hope in hand with fear. Close behind comes peace and war united. Peace called out, find a friend in every foe. So many days of anticipation, since first appointed as our party's host, bestowed with the secret libation, heaven's own elixir to raise and toast. This denouement foretold, today's the day. The invitations pressed for all to come, declared celestial bodies, have your say, while still revolving here beneath this sun. Accord yourself, joy, rest your worried brow, gladden to the hour at hand instead. Leave apprehension serve to disavow how discord brought us to the water's shed. In feasting and in drink, it shall unfold, in voices that have crossed at your threshold. Mingling our past in nervous tension, in a twittering of how each other bedecked, taking it to be a proper measure instead of what it is, to self-reflect. Steady working ego, take your leisure. Jealousy's distorting love's intention. I see the stirrings and the great unrest, armor chinking armor of the ego, shoulder to shoulder in a social test, charged with hidden meaning and the logos. We're here to set it free, this I was told. Fear keeps us apart, this point in case. Heaven's voice said, joy, you must be bold. Instead, I see the difference of each face. I must recall the lessons of my own slow process in which I came to learn, transcend. A vine dies where it clings, as nature's shown. Leave go to notice heaven's hand extend. As by design, this party is the path. One by one, we will cross the bridge of death. Entered cauldrons of ambrosial nectar, over spilling fruits on every plate. A noble beast stood waiting to begin, to serve with pleasure guests like rage and hate, insatiable as gluttony and sin, and others of infamous character. Abundance is the hand that's always full. These words I pondered as I'd heard them first. In emptiness is something that we cull as deference, that we shall come to thirst. Though first remember, hunger is not greed. Understanding what each of us must take, this incarnation comes supplied with need, entrusting us as each its own namesake. Some shall walk the earth in eternal quest, filling what is empty and empty still, while others walk in fullness as their test, and both are called to understand this will. The horn of plenty symbolizes more than flesh of fruit as covering of the core. Happiness through the stops when pleasure smiled, raising a toast that sacrifice deferred. Pain splashed a ladle full into each cup. Lust shouted, here's to each of us preferred. As each we are and shall be, so to sup. A drop of tincture to the zones grow wild. Yearning is the memory I resist, of those I've loved who no longer cast my door. Our winding rivers took another twist, found separate answers and opposing shore. Passion in its ebbing tide was wanting, a lock of hair, a token and a ring. Evidence desire is more than haunting. It's tangible, and what we both need bring. Should the veil of love uplift to reveal just how much pain inside our hearts been carved, while holding with great effort to conceal, this yearning is as much that we have starved. Former resistance, meet my newfound love, whose greeting was a whisper from above. Ambrosia's coursing turned to frenzied dance. There, laughter linked capriciously with doubt, and spirit nearly bursting full of verse. Harmony led a sigh, anger a shout, when banishment performed to lift the curse. Time left us until we try our hand at chance. The watching of my inner voice is clear. Questions I have asked affirm fear has fled. As the vehicle, it is not I that steer, but go the forward path that heaven's led. Why did I think as party's host I must do more than my ascent has done for me? Following is the basis of our trust. As each our spirits do, our bodies see. Conduct is to conscience how we're schooled. Our personage, the lessons that we lend. As we see the self, we are not fooled. Change permeates the flesh, our spirits mend. What's in a name is what we're left to know. Mine is joy, and beneath that title flow. Sorrow's cup was of universal size, imbibed with guilt and shame that none would touch. Merriment partook of this libation. Denial cautioned, lest one drop too much, ruin every good in this carnation, the admonition sealed with madness cries. Leaving go by the vapors in my brain, eating, dancing, laughing all the while, untethered from the harness of the sane, as noted by this brand new carefree style. An uninvited visitor would think, and feeling seems to be the keynote here. Relax, we all might chime and have a drink. Come drain the cellars, here's to you, and cheer. It's in forgetting that I may recall. It's in recall that I would soon forget. In rising, I must plunge and take a fall. The gamble is the only thing to bet. Attorney to the pleasures of this art, who understands it all, knows but a part. Where plenty spoke, stood hunger and stood thirst, making an effort to try and understand. A cornucopic task, to say the least, that plenty could do as the cosmos planned. Enjoy the banquet, partake of the feast, let go of emptiness, leave fullness burst. I sigh to think the makings of a saint, or well-disguised ambitions I once had. Of lesser aspirations I thought quaint, driving myself with spirits nearly mad. Balancing simplicity with striving, and kindness that we are as we need be. Should we gain the entrance by conniving, a noticed lack of spontaneity becomes our main concern, as we are bound, not to sainthood, but our own ambitions. A new responsibility's been found, naming each to change human conditions. Cosmic consciousness, to be effective, must be something more than just reflective. Strife and suffering took patience aside, to gain a strength wavering in their way, of long forgotten knowledge why they must, as patience bid, just live from day to day. Guardian of all, from ashes to dust, knows the hidden self in each of us as pride. I'll stop a moment here to catch my breath. Accumulating tension needs release, or charge headlong into the arms of death, as if the sole provisioner of peace. Meanwhile, humor lingers everywhere. If we won't laugh with it, it laughs alone. So prod the cosmic joker with a dare, alleviation of monotonous drone. Juxtaposing pain with a little mirth shows no irreverence, as we may have thought. Stand by the bed of death and then of birth, a sullen gladness tells us how we ought at one be mournful and the other gay. A tragic comedy is still a play. Loathing took to pity another glass, who cried full sore that no one cares for me. Exhaustion overtakes me with sadness that grips my soul and will not let me be, while others, acquainted with gladness and trust, ignore my doleful cries and pass. Creativity has a certain grace. Destruction is the path it leaves behind. Finds sentimentality hiding its face. Afraid creation's leap was done so blind. As each of us this evening had believed, said we would come while clinging to the hope that each of us could be as preconceived as the narrow confines we held in our scope. In hermitage we know ourselves to be a true refraction in the cosmic eye. To reconcile ourselves as others see, creation has a veiled and great supply. The chrysalis of change and each our duty, to likewise find in others equal beauty. While eating of the offering diffused, tension amidst the dancing, feasting guests, joy's party, though still pleasant, seems much more. Each came to do their bidding by request, to find the fruits of each held common core, that on this evening managed to amuse. Earth party host by heaven's charity, the last glass dried and favors put away. This tiredness is fused with clarity. Each in their own importance had their say. A quiet thought of each guest as they came to the occasion, wanting selfishly, the gift inherent in their given name, vanquishing instead to offer selflessly. I am joy, and each by name another. Here, each may be themselves, and that is all. Understanding is our common mother, and lack of it is where we common fall. Again, I heard the whisper from above, recalling joy. We are made and named in love. Thank you. Thank you for coming to Joy's Wild Party.